What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a special edition of The King Closer Reacts. I am the King Closer, RJ Bates III, and what makes this a special edition is normally we come to you with The King Closer Reacts on Saturdays, but this coming Saturday we're going to have a special live where TU members and Danny Force and the Mr. House team, they're going to be calling Lead Zolo Leads live for you guys to watch for about 4 to 5 hours. But we still wanted to bring you the King Closer Reacts, so we don't ever have anything special planned for Wednesdays, so why not? Let's run King Closer Reacts. Let's get into our first video.
You know, how much time do I need to do this business? You need to give it at least 10 hours a week for 6 months. If you can't commit to 6 months for anything, quit watching this video. Quit watching every business video you've ever seen, because you're never gonna make it in business if you can't commit for 6 months. Like, that's just rule number one. Rule number two, with 10 hours a week, the cool thing about real estate is you can do this business literally like on demand. And so, you know, maybe you guys got a 9 to 5, it's all good. You can get this 10 hours a week in on the weekends, before work, after work, during your breaks. You can absolutely get 10 hours a week in very easily. Now, clearly, 10 hours a week is the minimum. You put 20 hours a week, 30 hours a week, 40 hours a week, you're gonna have much better success, but 10 hours a week is the minimum.
All right, so that's my boy Ryan Pineda, and he's talking about 10 hours a week is the bare minimum. Here's the thing that I wish he would have said. With 10 hours a week, you do need to have the proper expectations of what your results are going to be in comparison to someone that's dedicating 40, 50, 60 hours a week. You need to have those proper expectations, because with the part-time effort, you're going to have part-time results, okay? Now, in regards to the 6 months minimum, I could not agree more. And this is where people, they watch social media videos just like that one, or like this one that you're watching, and they say, oh, I'm going to jump into wholesaling as a side hustle with 10 hours a week, and they give it 2, 3, 4 weeks before they give up. And they say, it doesn't work. Oh, I bought some of those speed to lead leads or those lead Zolo leads, and it doesn't work. Yeah, that's just social media. They're just trying to sell you a course. It's a scam. Well, if you're not dedicated to understanding, one, what is a good deal, how to actually have conversations with sellers, how to understand where end buyers buy, and develop those skill sets, you're never going to have those full-time results.
The difference between assertiveness and aggressiveness. Aggressiveness is the used car salesperson. I won't take no for an answer. I preach assertiveness. And assertiveness is tell me yes, tell me no. Either way is okay. If you tell me no, it's no big deal. You tell me yes, great. We'd love to help you. But if it's no, that's fine too. But it's not, I won't take no for an answer. Is I'm going to keep asking questions because it only makes sense for you to sell your house to me. And if you want to learn more information.
Old Trang-a-lang. You know, Steve made a post the other day on Facebook. I don't know why I haven't unfollowed him yet. But he said that people think that he's intimidating. And I can tell you, I have never once in my life looked at Steve Trang and thought intimidating. I've thought mentally handicapped. I've thought boring. I've thought he's got to be full of shit. But never in my life have I thought intimidating. That being said, this video, he clearly watched something that I said and then just copied it, because he actually has a good take here. There is a difference between assertiveness and aggressiveness. And I remember back in the 2020 Closers Olympics, that was like the breakthrough moment for me, where it was the first time people had ever heard me talk to a seller. And they were like, RJ, you were so aggressive. It was crazy. I've never seen anyone like that before. And I was slightly offended. But going back and watching those videos, I was aggressive when I was trying to be assertive. And to his point, he is agreeing with some of the things that I say in regards to follow-up is for failures. Because if you are assertive, you're going to receive that no or that yes on each one of your seller calls or seller appointments. And I couldn't agree more, because that's what a true closer does. And by the way, for those of you that think I'm serious, I actually love Steve Trang, okay? It's just a running joke. He wants me to make fun of him, so don't get offended, all right? We don't want Steve to get in his feels.
Right now, I believe that I am the most locked in and focused than ever. Business career, like this is the most locked in that I've ever been. And I don't know if it has anything to do with the fact that I'm like in my legacy years now, where it's like, dude, you know, you got to build, you're running out of time, but I'm locked in. If it doesn't consist of real estate investing, renewable energy, building our community and, you know, providing integrity and value to our community members, and if it doesn't consist of private equity, I don't want nothing to do with it.
All right. So Carlos is someone that used to go on social media and brag about how many different businesses that he had. I think at one point in time, it used to be like somewhere in the 20s, like 20 different businesses. And now he's talking about how focused he is, how locked in he is. And then he narrowed it down to real estate investing, renewable energy, his community, and then private equity. And so he went from 20 something different businesses to now he's talking about 4 different lanes. And what I feel from Carlos in this one, I don't talk to Carlos regularly, but it sounds to me like he's starting to adopt what I regularly preach, which is the hedgehog concept. He's starting to narrow it down. Instead of trying to be good at a bunch of things, he's saying, hey, I want to lock in because I'm in my legacy years and I want to become great at something. And so I'm proud of Carlos for this growth because I've known Carlos since 2016. So now we're going on a decade of knowing each other. And I was worried about where he was in his path because of how many different businesses he had. He was obviously stretching himself too thin. And I wasn't judging Carlos for that. I was judging it based off of my own experience and doing a very similar path. And so as entrepreneurs, sometimes we look at it and we say, because we can, we will. And I love seeing Carlos now saying, just because I can doesn't mean I'm going to. I'm going to go become great at something. So that seems like positive growth for Carlos. Now that being said, let's see another video from Carlos. Let's watch something else because I saw this one and I've got an opinion about this second video of Carlos.
These are my favorite kind of messages on social media. You want to see it? Check it out. In my request, Stephen Cano said, "You're a sellout, coconut Trump. Sea sucker, F you, you sell out, think you're white trash." Okay. All you do is block. Look, can you see? And then you block. And you're out of here, pal. You're out of here. These are my...
So this happens where we, as what you guys refer to as influencers or gurus, we put ourselves out there. We create content that inevitably is, the intention behind it is to help you grow in your business or in your life. We leveraged this exact same platform when we were getting started. And then people watch Carlos say something that they don't like. And instead of just ignoring it, which you can easily do, they send these kind of DMs to people like Carlos and myself and Steve Trey. We all receive it. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that we live in a place to where you can watch someone create content and instead of just walking away from it, you want to call us names because you disagree. Because Carlos at some point in time has said that he supports Donald Trump. I've also seen many a post where Carlos has said he absolutely disagrees with what Trump has done. And yet you want to call him names because you disagree with his political beliefs. You want to attack his heritage and his race. It's ridiculous. We need to be better than this. And it's absurd because in reality, all it does to us is just do exactly what Carlos did. Okay, we're just going to block you. And now anything that you could possibly receive that might positively impact you in your life, in your business, you now no longer have access to, just so you could call us a name. That's you acting like a child. Be better than that. Don't do that.
I'll be finishing up my first semester here in a couple weeks. Initially, it was difficult. It takes about 10 to 12 hours a week of reading, studying, writing, and test taking. I just didn't plan for it appropriately when I first started, but Now it's gotten pretty normal. My morning routine, I typically spend about 30 minutes in the morning between 5 and 6 a.m. I try and time block throughout the day. So my normal work day, I have anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour of study time. And then before I go to bed, the last about hour, I try and read, study, do schoolwork. So it works out by the time I get to Sunday, I have all my homework done.
Now, see, you guys probably don't know who that is. That's Eric Brewer. Okay, and now you might know the name Eric Brewer. Eric Brewer was the most forgettable cast member of Pardon the Disruption. And the reason why you probably don't recognize him is because all you ever saw was the top of his shiny head. For whatever reason, he just had his camera up here where you couldn't see anything but the top of his head. And so I wanted to show this video because if anything ever came from Pardon the Disruption, at least it's the fact that Eric now is come to terms with the fact that he had the worst takes ever in Pardon the Disruption, and he needed to go back to school to become educated so at least he could sound knowledgeable about something. I have no idea what he's going to school for, but Eric, I am so proud of you, brother, because my God, I disagreed with basically everything you ever said on Pardon the Disruption. So I am so proud of you for going out and trying to better yourself so you don't sound like the ignorant fool that you sounded like on Pardon the Disruption. Proud of you, man.
71% of real estate agents didn't close a single deal in 2025. That's not a guess, that's NAR data. Out of 1.3 million agents, over 900,000 closed 0 transactions, and only 15% closed more than 4 deals. That means 85% of agents are barely surviving or not making it at all. So what separates the ones who make it from the ones who don't? It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not the market. It's showing up every single day with a system for longer than you think you need to. If you're still here, if you're still trying, if you're still showing up, you're already ahead of 71% of the entire industry.
All right. So I'm a wholesaler, right? And what do? We call sellers, we reach out to them, and we need to buy their houses for a discount. And one of our competitors is the real estate agent, realtor world. They're part of our competitors. But yet we now know 71% of them did not even complete a single transaction last year. So when you're talking to a seller and they want to say, hey, I want to go work with a real estate agent, there's time and a place where they absolutely should. But that being said, when you know that the motivation exists, and there is a need for them to sell a property to us, a wholesaler, you can now leverage this fact that the majority of them didn't even complete a transaction, but yet they are viewed as the true real estate professional. How can you be a real estate professional if you never actually do real estate? Think about it, 71%. What an astronomical failure rate when it comes to the education and the implementation that realtors have in our industry. And so leverage that when you're on the phone with sellers and talk about what you've been able to do. Even if you're newer, at least if you've completed a transaction, you're better than 71% of the licensed realtors out there. They're the easiest competition to defeat, especially when the seller needs us as a wholesaler.
You don't have the guts to be what you want to be. You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fingers and say, that's the bad guy. What that make you? Good? You're not good. You just know how to hide. The last time you're gonna see a bad guy like this again, let me tell you.
And we're gonna take what we want, man!
It's a great guy going through it.
I got chills, baby. Oh my God, the New England Patriots are back. in the Super Bowl again. And to all the fans of every other organization out there, I apologize that we are going to start another dynasty this quickly. Like, it's really unfair to you, especially the Cowboys fans out there. Like, you're just stuck in this world of pain and misery. And as a Patriots fan that lives in Texas and chose to walk away from being a Cowboys fan to go to become a New England Patriots fan in 1990, it is such a joyous place to exist, to actually know what winning feels like. And this Sunday, I'm making the prediction, we are going to defeat the Seattle Seahawks again, just like we did the first time we faced them in the Super Bowl. And again, we are going to win on our defense. Our defense is going to make a play in the fourth quarter to defeat the Seattle Seahawks. And I love Sam Darnold. He's had a fantastic year, great guy, overcome all kinds of trials and tribulations. But unfortunately, sir, you are facing the greatest defense that has ever run through the NFL playoffs. It's not the Baltimore Ravens of way back when. It is this New England Patriots defense that has come out and shut down literally every single offense. And this is the beginning of the Drake May and Mike Vrabel dynasty. Enjoy it, everybody. All right, guys, that's our episode of The King Closer Reacts. Hope you enjoyed this special edition on a Wednesday. If you didn't like the video anyways, I'm not Steve Trang. I actually demand that you like all of my videos and comment on each and every one of them. That being said, make sure you tune in live at 10 a.m. Central this coming Saturday for a special live Lead Zolo TU members with Danny Force and Mr. House. We'll see you guys then.